Hey guys, so this is week number 5 for the garden tour, walk, whatever you want to call it. I went through, I have everything hoed, and the garden looks really good. Very minimal weeds. So this bed I did do the stirrup hoe, and anything that was kind of deep I dug out with the regular hoe. And sorry, spinning around really fast. On this bed I did just the stirrup hoe because so much stuff had ran off the last time that we got a lot of rain. So I don't want to loosen the soil too much over there because I lost a lot. So I'm doing a couple different methods. So I did, like I said, the stirrup hoe and hoe, like regular hoe over on this back bed. On the side bed I did just the stirrup hoe, and out on the front, which you can't see right now because it's on the other side of that tree branch, I did just regular hoeing, so everything's really deeply hoed. And I guess I don't know any other word to tilled, I guess, but it's really deep and fluffy, and I dug it up quite a bit. So I don't know, well, I guess we'll see which one does the best. I like having 3 different beds so I can kind of experiment with what does what and how, but for the most part, I think they're all going to be about the same. So I did plant a pumpkin plant down here on the edge of the trees. Like, there's a big open spot in there, and they're not doing well because they're not getting enough sun. I thought about moving them, but I don't really know where to move them. Okay, so the pumpkins, I do have a couple plants on the front bed that I believe, one I know for sure is a pumpkin. I think they're the little ones, but it should still vine up and cover the trellis really well. And I shouldn't have to hammock them to hold them up because they're small pumpkins. But then there's this other mystery plant, so I'm kind of excited to see what it is. Regardless, I'm all dirty. Regardless of what it is, now I got dirt everywhere. It's going to be something that I'm probably going to have to hammock. It's either big pumpkins or squash, but I don't know. I'm kind of excited to see what that is. So, like I said, I took you right through everything. Looks pretty decent. Nothing really new or earth-shattering yet. Really not too much fruit coming or vegetables. Couple tomatoes. There's no zucchini yet because I started from seed this year, so everything's a little bit later. So there's not a lot of reward yet, but I know it's coming. So I hope you guys enjoy week 5, and until things really start growing, I might be doing every other week, just because there's not always too much to see, and I've been pretty busy with work. But I'm gonna get out of the rain, and you guys can check out the garden tour. Have a good one. I just got done weeding the back garden. We're pretty weed free here. And it's been a week. Sorry if I'm yelling. It's been a week. But the weeds were very minimal. My other corn popped up here, the 2 rows. This one on the edge is a little sketchy because the grass was kind of growing into it. So I'll have to, kind of keep up on that. But everything else is looking really good. The corn will be knee-high by the 4th. It already pretty much is. These sunflowers are growing like crazy. My carrots were very hit or miss this year. I'm not really sure as to why. I planted them the same as I always do, but it is a different variety this year. So I can walk through it and you can kind of see how it's gapped. Oh, I knocked that one over, but yeah, the carrots are here on the left, parsnips are on the right. But yeah, they're pretty sparse. There's a couple little bitty ones in there. So, but yeah, as you can see, there's quite a bit of gapping. The parsnips turned out really good, and I could thin them, but I'm just gonna leave them how they are. And I think this way our carrots, they'll be few and far between, but they might get a little bit bigger. But yeah, those look good. The onions got a couple that want to die, but I'm not really sure as to why. But man, this bed is really nice this year. I'm getting pretty good not weed free, but you can, I just kind of hoed it all up. So I picked up the majority, but there are some still dead in the paths. Pulled all my string stakes. But yeah, the soil is really nice and soft. I wish that row was a little bit easier to see, but you get the drift. This is probably the best it's ever been for weeding. Oh yeah, I found this. I don't know if anybody knows why it did that. It is part of the plant. I don't know. I love sunflowers so much. They grow so fast. Sorry about it, it's getting blurry. Alright, so I hoed this one up too. My tomatoes are really starting to take off. You see the peppers are starting to grow. Those ones that are yellow at the end were completely yellow, and now they're starting to green back up. I found some random dill here on the edge. Found a little one right there, and then my dill is coming up over in this area. Oh look, we're gonna flower. Pretty. And my cilantro is coming up. That one's about ready to bolt, or it is bolting. It's been really hot. And the cabbage I started from seed is actually doing pretty good. The cabbage is. The cauliflower, not so much. I do have one small one there and a little tiny one there, and they just, this is the stuff I had, they just don't look very good. But it is what it is. The straight neck squash, which is yellow. My zucchini's finally doing something. Finally. And yeah, there are the tomatoes. You can see I have been cutting off anything that has been dead on the bottom. And so the plant is looking much better. This plant's looking a little sparse. But like I said, I've been getting all the dead stuff off. Oh, here's a really nice tomato. There's two there. This is a black Krim. So I'm really kind of happy with how they're growing now. I think if we're past, this one's looking really nice. I think they're established. So, and I have a zinnia that did come up. This one's really taken off. These are significantly taller than the other ones, but man, they're looking good. Nice and healthy. Plants. Okay, I'll show you the next bed. So these tomatoes are looking really nice. In fact, they're probably the best ones I have, but they were never underwater from flooding. So I just kind of trimmed up anything that was touching the ground today. I might take that off, but this one kind of got away from me. And I didn't weed around this one. So there's this one. Look at this, the size of this tomato compared to my finger. That's the great white. Here's the Amish paste. This plant is really nice. They're very long. I don't know what you would call that, like a branch, I guess. Just keep weaving them. This little guy's doing good, considering it was just a little stick. It's the only one that I haven't trimmed up off the ground yet. And then the cherry tomato. It's really taking off now. It won't be long. We'll be having a cherry tomato. These flowers are looking really nice. I'm hoping that they'll kind of connect and make a little ridge of them. My little canna lilies, they're actually coming up. Oh, and I do have one in the other bed coming up by itself. A green one from the manure pile again, and then a red one in the back bed. So, cabbage is looking really nice. It's a really pretty plant. And the peppers. This is a really pretty plant too. I think this is a jalapeno. Look. Yep. And then this one here. It's a really nice plant. That's like a ancho or a poblano, I believe. And then the one that got taken off by my dog, I don't know if I videoed that or not, but she came running in here and just took the top right off. That's bushing back and it's looking really nice. And this one over here, I pinched this one off on the top. And you can see how nice and full this one is. And that one I did the same. So not all of them did I do that. I think I did it on that one too, but it looks to be like it's the way to go. Watermelon, this plant's doing really well. This one too. Pretty soon I'm gonna have to start getting them climbing. The squash, they're really starting to take off, and they are getting, I don't know if you'd call them like tentacles. I don't know. Maybe that's what they're called, but so they'll be growing up pretty soon too. But man, they did bush really far out on the ground before they start going up. The cucumbers, the slicers are going up. These ones, I'm gonna be able to get them over here pretty soon. I had a few random tomatoes that I did finally pull, but I did leave this one. I think it's a cherry. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it yet, but I like volunteers. Sunflowers. The pumpkin seed is here. I think they're the little they're the little pumpkins. I can't remember what they're called. But the squash is looking really nice. More sunflowers. Here's the volunteer squash plant, and I am convinced this is a pumpkin. That's a really big leaf. Not that I have big, like humongous hands or anything, but that's a really big leaf. I guess the squash is too. That one's big too. So I don't know. It's definitely a squash, maybe a pumpkin. But it's really starting to take off now. And there's the two watermelons there. The giant zinnias are looking good with the random sunflower there in the middle. But things are finally growing. It's raining right now. We've had a pretty good week. So there's your update.